How about a quick update on the progress on the 1959 Clark Clipper forklift restoration? Can't see it real well. Yeah, maybe you can there, but this is the gunk I have to deal with inside the steering gear. Almost looks like it got some moisture in it. You know, when I first took it apart, it was pretty gray, or almost foamy. Anyway, I finally got it apart. I'm going to go let it soak in the parts washer. Looks like there's a seal there that I may have to figure out how to get out and replace. So, and then over here, I've got a couple gaskets I got to make. These have been soaking for a while in the parts washer, got them cleaned up. So I'll take those in and design a gasket and laser cut them. Okay, thought I'd give you a quick update where I'm at. I've been doing a lot of stuff internally or not internally, but inside the engine compartment, so on and so forth. Didn't want to bore you with some of the details, but I thought I'd give you an update. Obviously, we've got our new propane hose that the local propane shop made up for me, that goes from the vaporizer down to the carb. You can see we got the radiator in, and I did go to the local radiator shop, and he had a 7-pound radiator cap that fit this radiator. It wasn't very expensive. Got the belts on, got the radiator hoses on. I got those from Napa. They were able to find some for me that I really didn't hardly have to. I just had to trim them up. They went through their inventory and compared the hoses to the old hoses and came up with that. So I'm very happy with that. Got both fan belts on. As you can see, we've got all the hydraulic hoses in. I even got the, I don't know if that'd be considered return or input to hydraulic pump on there. We've got the new master cylinder in, which I think I mentioned this before. That's basically just the same master cylinder they used on the old Jeep, what was it, CJ2s. And you can't see it, but hiding down there is the micro lock brake lock. You can just barely see it there. That gave me, made all new brake lines for it. That micro locks valve gave me fits, and the reason it gave me fits is it was leaking, and I was trying to tighten it up, and by the time I got all done and everything, I had to pull it back out and repair the wire on it. I think I've got it finished up, but that caused me to move the forklift for the first time in 4 years, because I ended up with a heck of a mess with the brake fluid leaking. But we got that done. We got the clutch in, got the clutch spring, which return spring, which that's kind of, I'm hokey. It shows a different bracket in the manual, but there are some things that are in the manual that aren't the same as what we're on this. The biggest mystery to me was where the horn and the horn relay went, and I think I've got it right. Of course, I didn't take any pictures of it. That was the one of the things I didn't take pictures of. Got the throttle cable in, of course, the brake pedal in, throttle cable. This spring is the return spring on that. It's kind of interesting how they do it. This is the governor, and it actually pulls the governor and the throttle back. Got a new cable put on the choke. Got that trimmed up. Back there you can see where that throttle rod goes across. Let me see if you can see down there. Probably not. There are two, yeah, you can't see it. There's two oil pressure switches, sensors, that's what I'm looking for, that go on this. One of them goes to this, and then the other one obviously goes to the instrument panel. It's my understanding on this, on the vaporizer, this valve here, if it doesn't have enough oil pressure, it won't let it run. It won't allow the propane to go through there. I did put a wrench in there. I had to make that hose. Comes from the vaporizer, or yeah, it comes down here from the vaporizer housing to the water pump, and that's part of what warms up that vaporizer. Let me see. Oh, I've got the spin-on oil filter on with new oil hoses here, and I've got the voltage regulator mounted on its bracket. I had this before, but I've got all the hydraulic valves hooked up. There's only two remaining hoses that I'm waiting for that I ordered from Hydraulic Direct. This one goes to the main lift cylinder, and then there's another one, return hose, that somewhere down here comes through from the main hydraulic cylinder. Oh, it's right there. I don't know, you probably can't see it. Oh, there it is. And those, I've got that coming from Hydraulic Direct. The hoses were really good. There's the condition of the old hoses that went to the mast. Obviously that return hose was completely shot. So I've got all that done. This is the hose that goes from the tanks to that, and it's got a pop-off valve here, and I had the local propane company redo those hoses for me. They took one look. This had a, I don't know where the hose came from. I don't know if it was an old hydraulic hose. It was maybe that big around. He took one look at that and said, that's not going to work. And I also had him look at the tanks for me. Here's one over here. This has still got a little propane left in it. So I got to get rid of that propane because I'm going to strip that down. And the other one is down here. And I'm going to strip that down and take it into and repaint them. Take it into him. He's going to replace the pop-off valves and the gasket on the gauges. And he said I can reuse those. They're only 20-pound tanks. That's what came with it. I don't know if that's what came with it originally. I did I gotta throw these away. I put some Royal Purple break-in engine oil in it and turn that around and to circulate the oil. And actually, after I turned it a little bit, it even turned even better. And then down there on the flywheel, you can see it right there. There is a hole, and that's how you time it. And these are supposed to be set to fire at top dead center. So I ran that around till I got to top dead center and set my #1 spark plug. So hopefully I'll be close there when I get ready to get fired up. I've got, and I'll show you some of the gunk in there. I've got the steering gear soaking in here so I can get it cleaned up and get that sealed up. I got to make a couple gaskets, and there's a seal in there I got to figure out how I'm going to get out and replace yet. I did fill the differential and the transmission with I went with some synthetic 7590, and I filled that up, put 4 pints in it, 2 quarts. I don't know why they listed it as 4 pints. I don't know why they just didn't put 2 quarts. But anyway, so that has taken me the better part of a couple weeks. I got my hydraulic hoses waiting in here. So I'll probably throw the tilt cylinders in fairly soon. This spring's got to be moved because obviously that's going to be right where the steering column goes. So that's probably not in the right place. One mistake I made is I was trying to, I had to chase the threads on that hole there, and I snapped off my 3/8 inch thread chaser. And I tell you what, that was a bear to get that out of there. I had this much sticking out, and I tried welding the old welding the nut trick on it and everything like that, and it would not stay. I finally got a pair of vice grips on it, welded it up a little bit so it was a little bit thicker. Finally got a pair of vice grips on it, kind of tapped it, and it finally came loose. And then of course I did what I should have done when it got tight. I went and got the tap and die set and re-tapped that. So I got it sitting here. I'm watching for any additional brake leaks. I think I'm okay, but we'll keep monitoring that, make sure I get that all done. Let me see. I think that's about covers everything that I've been doing on this. This will get moved up like that when I get the counterweight on here, then I can tell where exactly it needs to go. So having done that, I don't like to have too many things taken apart at one time, but since I got most of that put back together, I've got the steering column taken apart. So I decided to start working on one of the last things that I need to do, and that's to disassemble this baby so I can get it painted and cleaned up and sealed up and put back together. And this is going to be a bear. I did get the links out of the chain and got the part of the chain off. I've got to do the rest of that. I took the brace off that goes across here, hoping I could just go ahead and take this off and take the main cylinder off. However, those must be using bolts like this in there. So it appears I've got to take the upper mast out before I can take the rest of these off. And this is heavy, and I didn't feel like today getting the engine hoist out to tip it down so I could get that out. I did start to take these off that the forklifts hang on. I got those off, and there was a missing bolt, at least one missing bolt. Some of them had the star head like that, and the rest of them just have the hex head. So I'll have to clean those up and decide if I want to replace any or not. So that's where we're at. It's getting closer. Oh, I forgot to mention, as far as in the truck itself, the last thing I got to do on the in the truck itself is I've got to remake that, the wiring harness. They're not that complicated, so I'll be working on that while I'm letting parts soak on that, and then the other thing I want to do eventually here fairly soon is I've got to drag this thing back out and clean that up, strip it, paint it, and get that on. Because as soon as I get that back on, then I can get the cage back on her, and that will free up some more room. So thanks for following along. I just want to give you a quick update. I know it's kind of a short one, but I didn't want to bore you with some of this stuff. It's been fun, and sometimes it's been 2 steps forward and 1 step back. There's a better shot of that oil filter that I made the bracket for and hung it on in there. So thanks again. Thanks for following along. I appreciate any comments you give me, and please subscribe and like the video and watch the video through so it helps the algorithm. Until next time, this is Harpum's Restorations.